evening. My name is Steve Rennie. I am the Ren Baron, and this is my Ren Baron Learning to Fly YouTube channel. And I'm hoping that I can get it all right tonight. I know some folks keep showing up hoping that we get it right, and I am too. I see we've got about 5-6 people in the watching so far. So if you could just tell me, folks, can you hear me okay? I think the last one we started, there was no sound. Everybody, feel free to jump in there, folks. I'm going to put a little message on here on YouTube, and then we will get going. I'm going to try to pay some attention to the flying tonight and try to keep it moving along. Hello there, folks. All right, so anybody there, can you tell me if you can hear me all right, so that we know whether to get started here? And let's see. Okay, we got 10 folks. Hey, Ramsey978, can you hear me okay? Yes, loud and clear. Okay, got the first step out of the way. All right, so I'm still kind of new to this whole streaming stuff, to be honest with you, and so I've hardly gotten it right yet. It turns out to be a lot easier to fly a real Cirrus, than it is to fly it online here. So let me just make sure I got everything rolling here today, and see if I can get through this properly here today. First thing we want to do is go and do our flight plan. And let's see if we can get all that set up properly here. And I've got I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff here tonight. Let's start with our flight plan. When I do my flight plan, tonight we're going to be flying from Santa Monica Airport here, Kilo Sierra Mike Oscar, to Montgomery Field in San Diego, California. That's Kilo Mike Yankee Foxtrot. And I was going to be heading down there this weekend to play a little golf with a friend, hopefully. And so I thought I would give a little preview of the flight here tonight. And then maybe once I'm done with that flight, we can compare the sim world versus the real world, to see how much different it winds up being here. So, Kramer Brand, you're awesome. Love the content. Okay, well, let's see how we do tonight there, Kramer. You may change your mind by the time we're done here. Okay, so first let's get started here. I'm going to try to work through a flow here, so I'll ask you to forgive me for any faux pas that I may deliver along the way. So let's start with our flight planning part of this here. And the first thing we're going to do is go to our trusty iPad here. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the most important tool in my toolkit is this iPad right here, and I just love it to death because it gives you so much information in a nice tidy little package here, and it just keeps getting better and better. So my flight planning process starts with my iPad here, and I hope everybody can see that. So I put in Kilo Sierra Mike Oscar. Let's go and go through my script here. I'm going to enter the departure and destination, which I've already done here. We're going to select the route. So as you can see right here, we've got the two front end, the Kilo Sierra Mike Oscar, Santa Monica, and Montgomery Field. Now, since we'll be flying IFR tonight, I'm going to go select the route. So here's how I do it. New text style. Okay, I pull up the route advisor, the route advisor. You say tomato, I say tomato, however you like to get it. The route advisor on ForeFlight, which is just, again, a tremendous tool here. And what it does is it gives you a whole bunch of options here to choose from. So first off, they always give you a recommended flight route. Tonight they want us to fly the Papa 23. There's the Papa 27. You'll see that the Santa Monica Papa 22, if you can see that, has been approved 375 times. So that's the one we're going to take tonight. You'll notice in the little map area up here that it actually gives you a little idea of what that route's going to look like. So let's go select that route and get that one in our flight plan. Okay, and there it is. All right, now that Papa 22 turns out to save you a lot of time because it puts in all of those waypoints, as you can see right here. I've got a little picture-in-picture camera, which we'll save for later. Anyway, there's our Papa 22 route here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I've selected the route here tonight. And what I'm going to do is, since we're flying online in a sim world, not exactly the real world here. We're going to take and use a little tool here that I just find to be, again, an amazing tool. It's called, that's my streaming page. Let me take you over here. All right. This is the Pilot Edge homepage. Now, if you're not familiar with Pilot Edge, it's ATC on the internet, and it's a plugin, and it's just a great tool here because it gives you that reality, that little bit of pressure to perform in a timely fashion when you're dealing with ATC. And I know there's lots of new pilots on Pilot Edge. There's a lot of experienced pilots as well that are learning how to fly, and getting comfortable with the ATC world is hugely important. It was something that was very intimidating for me when I started flying, and maybe not quite so much today, but Pilot Edge just makes it real. So we're going to go and do what we would have done in the real world. I'll just show you real quick. In the real world, I would have hit this little button here. Let me go back to my iPad. Excuse me there for jumping around. On my iPad, in the real world, I would take this little button right under here. I don't know if you can see it or not. And I would click that, and I'd hit it up to flights, which I'm going to do anyway tonight. Okay. And it puts it up into another section of ForeFlight, and where it calculates all kinds of great information for you. And so while we're here, let me just fill that page out. I've already done it. Just one pilot, 190 pounds. We've got fuel in here. We're going to have about 80 gallons of fuel. So let me put that in there. And then we put in a bunch of information there, which I'm going to do a video shortly that goes through this in excruciating detail. We'll save that time tonight. And I would click this little button down here, proceed to file. But because we're flying in a sim world, we're going to do the equivalent of that, I should say, of that, by filing our flight plan here for Pilot Edge, so that the ATC controllers we're talking tonight will have our flight plan the same way they would in a real world situation. So we're going to start with the type of flight. It's going to be an IFR flight tonight. I've already put some of this information, so I'm going to give you 768 Foxtrot Sierra. SR22 is a type of aircraft. It's slant Golf. That tells the ATC folks they have equipment that allows me to do certain approaches and so forth, which is great. My true airspeed is 175 knots. I'm starting at Santa Monica. We are going to, we're going to have to put this one here. I've got a little gadget here that's helping me stay off the keyboard, but I still have to hit it every once in a while. KMYF. We'll put in there. Our cruising altitude is likely to be 5,000. Our alternate will be KSNA. And since we filed something similar to this before to San Diego International Lindbergh Field, we're going to just put in here KMYF, and I finally get it right. I've been thinking about Monterey all day long and keep putting it in the wrong place. So we're going to file that flight plan now on Flight Edge, or Pilot Edge, excuse me, and now we are all good to go there. Now we'll talk a little bit more about what we got to do. Actually, let's do it right now before we'll get in the cockpit here. Let's get rid of that. Let's go back to just regular old cockpit. Okay. How we doing so far here? Let me get back now to okay, anybody? I see the comments have stopped. Can you hear us okay? Everything good? Everybody's gone quiet on me here. All right, just give me a little thumbs up. Tell me we're doing great or we're not. Okay, so we've now filed our flight plan both on our iPad and also on our Pilot Edge. So now let's get in the cockpit and get rolling here a little bit. First thing we're going to do is going to put the keys in the ignition. No way to lose them when they're there, I find. Although I find many different ways to do that. Now, as I mentioned, to get Pilot Edge fully functional here, we're going to have to enable it on the X-plane. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure I can do that here. And then I've got a little button I'm going to push here, but typically you would just go up here if you don't have all these fancy gadgets. You go up to Pilot Edge and click connect. Okay, we can do it old school. I have a button here that'll do that, but let's go ahead and connect it and see how we're going to do. Gives all that information, tells them who I am. And we're connected to Pilot Edge. So now we're going to have some ATC love to go along with us. Howdy, R&B. No relation to Eddie Vedder. Oh, God. If only that was true, you could sing along while I make a mess of this whole thing here. Okay, so we're back in the cockpit here. We've got the keys in the ignition here. So what's the first thing I want to do when I get in here? I got this all scoped out here, and it's changing as we do this. So let's go to our cockpit pre-flight. Okay, once I get in the plane, the first thing I'm going to do, let me go back a step here again. I'm going to bounce it all over the place here, gentlemen, so just bear with me. When I'm flying in my Cirrus, and I know lots of you folks have watched my videos and stuff, so some of this is not exactly going to be new to you. Of course, I have my iPad. That's my #1 tool, but I also use a couple pieces of paper and pen. Let me just go over here so you can see me. I use paper and pen as well. So for as much as I love the digital world, I also use these two flight sheets here. Let's see, I'll put them right here. All right, I'll show you a close-up of those. One is my cockpit information sheet, where I list all kinds of important information. First, stuff that I categorize as flight information, date, my hobs and engine hours, fuel on board, and so forth, where I have a starting and an ending, and I total them up when I'm done. I also have a departure section of this flight info sheet here, where I have information on ATIS, ground tower departure, the weather in Santa Monica, my clearance instruction, taxi instructions, and the like, which is where I put all that. I also have an en route section you see right there, which is where I make my notes of ATC requests and all of that stuff while I'm actually up flying around. And then finally, I have a little section down there at the bottom for all my approach information. So that would be for San Diego, would be for Montgomery Field today, and I start off with my ATIS and tower and all that. And I try to put in all that information ahead of time so that I'm ready to get flying, I'm ready to go. So I'm assuming I'll do a video on that shortly, hopefully with the help of all the simulator gear and so forth that allows me to get into great detail. I'm just going to tell you that I've already put some of that stuff in tonight. And so once I've done that, I get in the plane. Let's go over here and let's go back one step. Go back over here to our pre-flight, and the first thing I would do after putting those engine keys is I go down and I get my engine and my hobs information here. So let's see if that's going to work. It didn't quite work the way it was supposed to. Oh no. And anyway, I take that information and I put it up in this flight information sheet. So amidst all those cool little tricks that I did. Let me try this again, gentlemen. This is kind of a dress rehearsal, so bear with me here, would you? Okay, so we're going to go X-plane. Now watch this. This should work properly. The first thing I do when I get in the plane is I go and get my engine hobs information, and it's not going to work again. All right. I have a little gag that I've worked, but it's just not going to work tonight. Anyway, after that, we'll go get all of our departure frequency information, ATIS, all of that stuff, and I'm going to get it over here on my iPad. So just again, what a wonderful tool this is. So once I've done my flight plan on the map section, I push it over to this flight section here. Now I have access to all kinds of information. Right here I can get the weather. Right here I can get all of my frequencies, which I've already done. ATIS is 119.15, ground is 121.9, tower is 120.1. I get all of that information and I put it on that little flight info sheet here. I can also get information for Montgomery Field. It makes it all easy. So it looks like, oh, wow, we're going to have a little IFR conditions there. Now, even though we'll be, quote, flying in the day, we'll be flying with these conditions. So same deal. Information on everything you really want to know about an airport, the approaches, all that stuff right here on my favorite app in the whole world, Flight. Okay, so let's go back over here. There I am again. How are we doing, folks? Is this from sports? No relay. Okay, we get some interesting folks kind of passing through the YouTube world here. No, this isn't sports tonight here. We're going to try to do a little flying. Okay, so anyway, we got our information. We got all that stuff already put in here. So let's get started and get this plane revved up and ready to go here. Let's just see what else. Okay, all right, let's just do it. Let me get over here. Back over on our, let's go back to our cockpit views, and let's go right here. Oops, I don't pause. There we go, reset. And we're on our, okay, hang on, bear with me there, folks. Put it over here. Nope. All right, let's see if we can get this all sorted out here. There we go. All right, and now we're going to push that over. No, it's just not wasn't a work here. Ah, there we go. Okay, now back in the cockpit. Okay, let's get this baby fired up here. First thing we're going to do is hit battery 2, and you'll notice down here in the quadrant here that there's no green light here by the flaps. That is a good thing because that means that everything is working properly. Let's go back up to that default view. Okay, so that one's firing up. Now that we know that that's the case, we're going to hit battery 2. And again, I'm going to go down and show you that throttle quadrant area. Now you see that green light. And that little green light means that all the electrical systems are working properly, and which is a good thing. Okay, so let's go back up there. That's all working just fine. Our PFD and MFD are lit up now, so I'm going to hit enter, enter, enter. I'm going to accept our fuel, which is 89 gallons. I'm going to get rid of that irritating bell right there. Okay. How we doing so far here, folks? Okay. Everybody can hear properly? Ah, beautiful. Got to keep going then. Let's see. We're getting ready to start up now. I'm going to give you full fuel. I'm going to give you full mixture right here. I have another little cockpit view here, which... this is all that stuff I'm trying to figure out how to show you, but I'll figure it out later on and show you with all the equipment I'm using here. Actually, let's just try to find it. Got a little instrument cam. Here's all the stuff that I'm using here in the office in my flight sim setup here. All this from Real Sim Gear. This yoke here, Cirrus style yoke, is from Noble Flight System. Instead of touching the stuff on the keyboards, which I've done in the past, I can do it right here, which is much more preferable for me. So that's what you're not seeing, but that's where it's all coming from. Okay, so now we've got the baby lit up. So we've got our fuel mixture full, throttle full. We're going to give a little bit of high boost, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4. Okay, I'm going to shut that off now. I'm going to pull my throttle back to about 1/4 inch here, and then I'm going to get my starter ready to go. I'm going to give it a little bit of boost pump, and then I'm going to fire it up, and hopefully we get a start. Aha, voila. Got a nice start today. Love that. Nothing worse than getting embarrassed. Let's go back to our cockpit views here. All right, there we go. Nothing worse than getting embarrassed by not being able to start the plane when all your friends are around. Okay, so we've got all that stuff happening. Let's give you the rest of it. We got all 1, we got all 2, we got avionics on. We should have had our strobes on, my bad. And now we are ready to go and get our ATIS, I believe. So let's go over to the radios here, and I'm going to go down to hit the COM button. I'm going to switch down to COM 2, and I'm going to put in 11915. I'm going to see if I can give you a little close-up on all that stuff. 11.115, 11915, that's ATIS. We're going to flip that over. 121.9 is ground at Santa Monica Airport. Let's get that dialed in. I like to have all my ground frequencies in COM 2. Let's go up top for a second while we're here and put in 120.1, which is our tower frequency. We'll put that over here, and probably we're going to get 125.2 is our departure frequency. So I like to get all those frequencies done ahead of time.
Santa Barbara ground, Seminole, Charlie Golf, Mike, Whiskey Tango, ready for taxi, IFR. We're on the south ramp near Echo and have Delta.
Charlie Golf, Mike, Whiskey Tango, Santa Barbara ground, on Mike 25, taxi via Bravo, Alpha Golf.
Okay, now I hope everybody is hearing that ATC. Are you hearing that? Somebody give me a little indication. ATC good, ETC can't hear it. You guys let me know what we're doing there, okay? Let's go back to our default MFD. Okay, so now we got all that stuff dialed in here. Now we're ready to get our ATIS. So I'm going to come down here into the, let's see which, let's go down here. I'm going to come down here to the autopilot and comms and all that stuff, and I'm going to hit mic 2, and now we are going to listen. We're going to listen for the ATIS here.
Santa Monica Municipal Airport, A2 information Oscar, 0251 Zulu, wind 050 at 5, visibility 10, Sky condition, clear. Temperature 14. Dew point 8. Altimeter 29905. Arriving and departing runway 1. Visual approaches in use. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact that you have information, Oscar. Santa Monica Municipal Airport, 8 is information, Oscar. 02.
Okay, I'm going to assume that she meant runway 21. It sounded like she said runway 1, but I'm expecting that that's going to be runway 21, okay? So now we've got our information for the weather here and so forth. So now I want to do one other thing before we get going here. Back to our iPad here. Let's see, do I have my iPad? Yeah, there's the iPad. In the iPad, another great section here. Takeoff briefing is so important. When you have a chance to, let's see, am I going to get that here? No. Do your takeoff briefing. It's important to know what might happen if things go right on your departure and if things go wrong. Another great tool is Preflight to help you do that and to calculate things like takeoff, runway, takeoff, how much you're going to use of the runway, all of that stuff, and what you're going to do is stuff that you need to calculate, but you can do it really easily right here on your iPad. Okay, so let's go back to that iPad. Okay, and we're going to go to this little button over here by departure that says takeoff briefing. So this basically gives you all the stuff you need. Now, if you can see it up at the top, the first thing I'm going to do is select my runway, which is runway 21, because the winds aren't really that much of a factor. Now, on my takeoff briefing here, let's see if I got the takeoff briefing sheet. Here's my takeoff briefing sheet. The elevation in Santa Monica is 170. 600 above that, which is our caps available, is 770. This is what I fill out with the help of this information here. The best caps, if we have to pull that parachute, is 2,000 feet above the ground, so that's going to be 2,170 feet. We just got our weather, and the temperature is 14 and 8, and all that stuff is not nearly as important as the stuff about the runway. Let me get in my, let's get our barometer in there. So we're going to be doing a normal takeoff today here on runway 21. The runway length, as you can see here on the iPad, let's go back to the iPad, bang, is 3,500 feet. It also talks about what the slope is, not really an issue. The weather is recapped here as well. The takeoff weight has been calculated with me as a single pilot with the 80 gallons of fuel and so forth. So that is all real.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 791 Whiskey
turn
coming
that
up
down
on
a little bit.
26 left at Whiskey, ready to go.
The performance aspects of the plane are actually built in. They have a profile for the Cirrus, my Cirrus in particular. So all this information is very accurate. And what it's going to tell me is the important part of this, which is how much runway is it going to take me. And it's going to take me 1,225 feet in that current configuration. I'll get my direction of departure from our clearance. Our cruising altitude I'll get as part of our IFR clearance. Our estimated time en route here on this flight is going to be 38 minutes, according to all of this. And here's what the important part is. My takeoff briefing. If I have an emergency on the runway, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is pull the power, apply the brakes, and abort the takeoff. If I have an emergency on that runway between 170 feet and 770 feet, I'm going to do my engine fail checklist. I'm going to pitch for 92. I'm going to cut off the mixture. I'm going to cut off the fuel tanks. I'm going to cut off the ignition and land straight ahead on a little golf course. If I have an issue between 770 and 2,170 feet, I'm going to deploy the airframe parachute, pull the red handle. I'm going to cut the mixture off. I'm going to cut the fuel tanks off. I'm going to cut the ignition off, and we're going to float in on that golf course. And that is our takeoff briefing. So let me just come back over here. How are we doing so far, gentlemen? Pre-made for info. That is a little sheet that I've had put together on my own, Martin, based on the way I like to see the information. Cheers from Alberta. Good stuff. All right, good guy. Got a good group here tonight. Wow. Glad you all could make it here. So now let's go. We've got all that stuff out of the way. Our takeoff briefing done. Now I'm recapping because I'm going to choke with all you guys on the broadcast with me here. I think I got everything ready to go. So now it's time to talk to ground and let them know what we want to do. So I'm going to go back down to, I'm going to get all these. There we go. I'm going to go back to, wrong one. Actually, let's go back to
Whiskey contact.
cockpit views here.
Departure 14 Whiskey, good day.
I'm going to go back to our comms. I'm just going to press mic 2, and now we're going to talk to we're going to go talk to ground. Okay, let's go back up here. Santa Monica Towers, or ground, Cirrus 768 Foxtrot here at the Alpha 2 run-up with Oscar. I'd like to taxi to the Alpha 5 run-up and also pick up my IFR flight plan to Montgomery Field, Kilo Mike Yankee Foxtrot.
768 Foxtrot, Sierra Santa Monica ground, over 21, taxi via Alpha, your clearance on request.
21 via Alpha, and I'll pick up the clearance down there. 8 Foxtrot Sierra, thank you. Okay, so let's go down into the, oops, we went down one, we go back. We want to go down into our throttle quadrant, so I got to get the brakes and pull the brakes off here, and then we will go back. If not there, we want to go back to the cockpit, and let's go back to the cockpit and just flip that over here. Okay, there we are. Okay, so let's get taxiing here. Let's make a look to the left. All right. All right, so we're going to taxi down here. Now, normally I would be doing my checklist and so forth, but since I've got all this stuff, I'm still choking and missing some stuff here, folks. I'm going to take some of those questions when we get up here in the run-up area, gentlemen. So let me just get all my stuff together here.
One Charlie Bravo taxi parking via Alpha, remain this frequency.
Over this frequency, good day. 1 Charlie Bravo.
Checklist here. We're just going to do our run-up checklist up here before starting, before taxi. Oops, get back online here. Okay. We're going to do our before takeoff checklist up top here. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to drive this thing straight and get into the taxi area here. I see a question regarding that CAPS altitude. I'll tell you how that works. 600 feet above ground level is where the Gen 6 has been tested, where you can pull that parachute and land safely. The best CAPS altitude, if you have to pull it somewhere and you're not going to be landing on a runway, is 2,000 feet above the ground. That gives you plenty of time to maneuver it to someplace flat and pull the parachute. Under 600, there are people that have pulled it under 600 feet AGL and lived to tell, but that's the recommended altitude, and I call that my magic number. All right, so bear with me, gentlemen. I'm just trying to pay attention here and do a little flying. I've already missed a bunch of stuff that I might not normally miss here. So I see we got a good crowd here tonight. Good stuff. Sound okay, everybody? I hope it's good. I've literally spent the last week trying to get all this stuff dialed in so that I can try to make flying the sim as instinctive as it is flying the real Cirrus here. Okay, at least we're keeping it online here. All right, so I'll pop in there a little bit closer on the instrument so you can see what's going on, and I got to pop it back quickly because I can't see.
Here, clearance available, advise order to copy.
I'm just about ready to pull into the run up here. I'll pick it up there, please. 85 here.
Sure.
Okay, there's a lesson for you folks. In the past I would have probably stopped everything I was doing because I was afraid to tell them I wasn't ready. But now, if you're not ready or you don't know, just say it. The only thing worse than sounding stupid is actually being stupid. So just take care of business first. First thing they teach you: aviate, then navigate, then communicate. So we're going to aviate our way over to this run up here and turn this baby around, get ourselves situated, and then we're going to take care of some business here. All right. He's getting paid to stay there all day, and the folks at Santa Monica Tower are just the greatest in the whole world. All right, so there we are. I'm looking at the tower now. Actually, our run up there is actually across the street, so I'm going to go back to my throttle quadrant here. I'm going to put the brakes on so I can take a little break here. I'm going to go back up to my default, and now that I'm ready, I'm going to call up and get our our clearance here. Santa Monica ground, Cirrus 768 Foxtrot here, ready to copy that clearance.
768 Foxtrot here, Santa Monica ground, clear to the Montgomery Airport. Via departure, fly runway heading to the Los Angeles tree 10 radio, then turn right heading to 50. Vector Santa Monica, then as filed. Maintain 3000, expect 5000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 125.2. Squawk 5176.
All right, let me read that back. We're cleared to Montgomery Field on departure. We're going to fly runway heading at the LAX 310 radio. We're going to make a right turn heading 250. Then radar vectors to Santa Monica, and then as filed to the Papa 22. 3000 to start, 5000 in 10 minutes, 125.2 on the departure frequency, and 5176 on the squawk. 8 Foxtrots here.
Cirrus Foxtrot here, back correct.
All right, let me program to do my run up, and I'll be right back to you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So far, so good. So we got that. We got all that stuff here, and here's where I put it. I write it all back down on my little sheet. So I took all that stuff that you just saw here, and now it's time to program that baby into our system here. So let me go back to the cockpit. Let's go up. Do a nice PFD close-up here so you can see what I'm doing here. The first thing I do is I go backwards. So I'm going to go and start by entering in these squawk codes. I'm going to hit exponder on my GCU unit here, and I'm going to go 5176, and that shows up over here. Now, a little quirk of this sim as opposed to my real Gen 6 is you got to actually go in there and click altitude. Mine clicks together automatically. So I now got 5176 in there. I already had 125.2 in the departure frequency just because I do it so often that that's typically what it is. So I'm going to put a little check on my, I'm going to put a little check right there on my 125.2, and now I know I got that done. Now I got 3,000 to put in on our altitude. So I'm going to put 3,000 in the altitude select up here. That's our initial 3,000 out of the box. Now that's all done. I'm going to be looking for a right turn, a heading of 250 once I make that turn. So I'm going to go up here in my heading select button. I'm going to set that to 250. Now that is a check. And I have to go and program all this into my flight plan, which is going to take me a minute here, gentlemen, so bear with me because this is the ugly part of this. Okay, so let's go KSMO. First thing we're going to do is that LAX. Okay, now we got SMO, enter. Okay, now here's where it gets ugly. On my Gen 6, I would just have taken that information that I had over here on the iPad, and I would have sent it Bluetooth to here, and all these entries I'm about to have to do would not be necessary. So bear with me, folks. We're going decidedly old school at the moment, and now the first part of this Papa 22, if you have it anywhere, is you go down to the Santa Monica VOR to a waypoint that's kind of an intersection point between Seal Beach and Santa Monica. There's a little waypoint down there right next to it called Wilma, which is I'm just going to put in because it makes it nice and easy here tonight, rather than trying to figure out how to program that intersection in on the flight sim here. So we got Wilma, and then we're going to go to Seal Beach from there. That's SLI, enter. Now I think from here we can actually might be able to pick up an airway, and let's see if we can get Victor 64. There we can get Victor 64, and we're going to be done with Victor 64 at Walkrow. So that's actually worked out well. Okay, then at Walkrow we're going to pick up another load and airway, which is Victor 363, and that one is going to end at Dana. And then at Dana we're going to do Victor 23, load airway. I hope you're seeing all this. I screwed something up. Yeah, that's right, Victor 23. And we're going to take that one all the way to Mission Bay. We're going to load that. I think we got everything. Macro, Victor 363, 323. Yep, so far so good. And then we're going to put in KMYF, Montgomery Field. We are not going to Monterey to play golf. Okay, so there's our flight plan now, gentlemen. And what I'm going to do is I like to come back out here or just start and go backwards. My lovely light flight instructor Liz DeStephanie's telling me, map integrity, Steve, check it. So that all looks good. And I think we're ready to rumble now, okay? Now we just got to do our run up, as it were. So let's go, where are we? We're back here. Let's go back to the default MFD. And now let's go through our run up. How are we doing so far, gentlemen? Wade Jones, nice to see you, folks. Have you done some tests on turning around and going back to your bit of given altitude rather than pulling the chute? I've not checked the chute here in the sim. Do you lean the mixer after the start before taxi? You know, in my Gen 6, I pretty much leave it there. Just there's such a small difference there that it's just, you know, people talk to me about that all the time. I've talked to my guys over at Kim Davidson Aviation. They say it's not a huge deal, so just a bad habit on my part. Okay, so where are we at right now? So let's go do our run up, and let's go. That means we're going to go back to our flight plan here. We're going to go to the checklist, and the one I have is our before takeoff checklist. So let's go up top here again so you can see what's going on. Doors are latched and closed. Caps handle on my plane, as you know, is always sitting right here. It's Velcroed. I get a lot of comments about that, mostly good. Some people wondering, make sure I can see both MFD and PFD, and I certainly can, or it wouldn't be there. Seatbelt and shoulder harnesses are secure. Air conditioning is off right now. That will actually change your takeoff roll by 150 feet. I'll show you that on a separate video someday. Fuel quantity we've confirmed. Fuel selector is on the fullest tank. Our fuel pump is in low boost. Our mixer is as required. Our flaps are now going to be, they were already at 50%. I guess I had them left over from this morning. Transponder is set, of course. Our autopilot, we're going to do a little test on that here in a second. So let's go test our autopilot. Let's go down to that autopilot switch in. So what I'm going to do to test the autopilot, I'm going to put it on autopilot, and then I'm going to put it in heading mode, and you should see that baby starting to turn.
Ground 99 Victor, we're at the GA hangar.
Okay.
East side of the field.
And that's approach. Let's go here, and you see my you see the
runway 24, we're taxiing
get you
out
up close.
for
You see my little wings, my flight director wings have changed, so that's because the flight autopilot is actually working. So let's move it back here, and let's also just put our toga button all set up there, ready to go. Okay, so now let's go back. Our autopilot is set. Working properly. Navigation radios are set. Cabin heat defrost is set. Brakes are holding. So now let's go to 1700 and go to our engine checklist or engine page. So we're going to take the RPMs up to 1700. There's 1700-ish. It's a little jumpy tonight. We're going to put on our nav lights and see if that moves. This is the one we're looking for right here. Our strobe lights are on. Landing light moves it up a little bit. Ice should push it up just a little bit more, maybe not. Pitot heat will take altitude up quite a bit, and it does. Now I'm going to go over here to my Alt 1. Let's go to our switch panel here. Our Alt 1, I'm going to turn Alt 1 off here for a second, and then I'm going to go back over, okay, to our PFD close-up. And you'll notice that the Alt 1 is shed and the other one's picked it up. Now when I go and turn it off and go Alt 2 sheds and the other one picks up, that's all looking good. I'm not going to need pitot heat. I'm not going to need ice tonight. Let's go check our mags here. I'm going to go to the left mag. Drops about 90-ish. It's a little hot right there. Okay. Our right mag is acceptable. Okay, so we're going to pull our power back to 1,000 now, ish. Get that power. It's a little jumpy here. Okay, let's go here and back to our checklist here again. So power level, all that stuff's good. Alternator's good. Landing lights we got set. Voltage is charging. Navigation lights, landing lights not required. Magnetos we've checked. Flight instruments. Let's go check our flight controls now. Let's go to that little rear view mirror here. Okay, so we're going to go left is up, right is down. You can see, I hope you can see all those things. Move them over here. Okay, yeah, you can see all that stuff moving. So all of that is working fine. Let's go back to our trim. Our trim on the plane here on this particular flight model is a little jumpy on the high zone, so I'm going to trim it down just a hair. Autopilot is not an issue. Let's go back to our default. Okay, and our normal takeoff, I know how to do that, so let's go up to here and we're going to set it for our climb checklist and then back to our flight plan, and we are all done and ready to roll here. Okay, any questions so far here? Citation Max, hey, how you doing, buddy? I was just talking about you today with a friend. Anyway, I want to get a pilot's license, watching and learning kid. Well, this is a good place to learn. Nice and safe, and I can tell you this, as a relatively new pilot, big fan of technology. I can't imagine that there's ever been a better time to learn how to fly with all the technology that you can use at home and all the tools and just great stuff they have out there. I just wish I could claw back 20 years, to be honest with you. All right, we're all ready to rock here, so I think if you just let me gather myself here for a minute here and make sure I got all this stuff together. Maybe one day I'll go flying with Max where I can just be his second set of eyes here. He's got all his stuff together. He's doing it in a jet, which I guarantee has got a lot more stuff going on there. Okay, let's talk to our friends at ground. Santa Monica ground, Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra, run up, complete, ready to taxi, 2-1.
Number 768 Foxtrot Sierra, 2-1, taxi via Alpha.
2-1, taxi via Alpha, 8 Foxtrot Sierra. Okay, let's get rolling here. Okay. Okay, let's get her over here. All right, let's get it back over here. A lot less buttons to push in the real thing than there is here on the sim. All right, I think here we are in. Okay, all right. So now we're going to switch over to mic 1, and so everything's on that top frequency now. And let's go up there and take a peek what we got. We got 120.1 is who we're talking to right now, and 1252 is set. So let's go back. Santa Monica Tower, Sierra 768 Foxtrot Sierra, runway 21, holding short at Alpha 5.
Number 768 Foxtrot Sierra, Santa Monica Tower, runway 21, clear for takeoff.
21, clear for takeoff, 8 Foxtrot Sierra, thank you. Oh, I got one more thing to do here. Oops. OBS, course, 310. And actually, I'm not ready yet. Should have picked this up ahead of time, but let's get up top here. And to get that LAX thing to work properly, I got to make LAX the active leg. Nope, that's not it. Jesus. Okay, let's try it again. Active LAX is the active leg here. Okay, now we got KSMO, so that will make this 310. Let's get the course in here. Nope, that's not it. There you go, course. Let's go back here. OBS. Now let's go to the course 310. Okay, sorry folks. Better to make somebody wait than do something stupid. Okay, now we're all set, so we're going to pick up that radial on the way out of here. Okay, my bad. Woo. Okay. Okay, let's get her, see if we can get her in the middle of the runway here. Okay, let's get her in there. Okay, we're more or less on there. Okay, we're all set. I think we're ready to go. Okay, we got our takeoff. Okay, let's roll.
Clear for takeoff from the 24.
Okay, full power is in. Eyes down the runway. Speed's alive, we're looking good. Start easing that stick back there, get her off the ground, keep her running here. Okay, let's get those flaps up at 90. Okay, and our magic number here is going to be 770 on takeoff. So now you can see why I like having those. Let's get set our indicated airspeed, our flight level change at 120. Now I'm just going to follow this baby out.
768 Foxtrot, Sierra Contact, SoCal, departure, good flight.
SoCal 125.2, thanks for help. 8 Foxtrots here. SoCal departure, Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra, 800 climbing 3000. Caps available.
Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra, SoCal departure, ready contact, climb and maintain 5,000.
Climb maintain 5000, 8 Foxtrots here.
Ren Baron.
Hey, how you doing? I'm working. Trying to stay out of the ocean. Okay, so now you'll notice that those pink lines are starting to come together there. And that's where we start. I'm going to go to heading mode here. And we're going to turn to 250. And keep our climb coming. And normally I wouldn't hit autopilot this soon, but in the sim I'm going to do it just to get me so that I know that things are reasonably going where they're supposed to. Okay, so here's where we take a look and make sure we got everything set up. We got our heading, we're in autopilot mode. We've got 5,000 selected here. We're going to 270. We're just going to 250 right now. Okay, so we're good. He told us just, let's get some volume here so I can hear him now. Right direct Santa Monica, resume on nav, 8 Foxtrots here. Okay, since I'm in heading mode, I'm just going to twist this thing over here, give me a little time to get to the flight plan. I'm going to go click in here. I'm going to go direct, enter, nav, and now the plane is going to take us direct to Santa Monica. I'm going to pull back our power to 28.5, I think it is. Okay, and let's come back over here. Then we're going to pull our mixture back here a little bit. And right here, I'm going to go to my flight plan. I'm going to go to that checklist. So our climb checklist is what we're doing right now. We're still a little high on the fuel flow. Manifold pressure is still a little high. So now we've cured those. Okay, oxygen did not require power levers. Full mixture is full rich. Airspeed's good, fuel flow's good, engine parameters are good. Now we got our climb checklist. Let's go up top one checklist more. And then I don't know if my Bose noise canceling is on. I think it is. Yeah, it is. All right. Okay, so once we have all that stuff, I'm going to go back to my flight plan, back to the map is what I would normally do, and then see what's going on. Let's declutter this sucker here. Let's get the map, let's go to that profile. Okay, so now we're heading back to Santa Monica. I'd like to check up here. We got our heading direct Santa Monica. We're in GPS mode. Pitot heat required. I'm going to cure that right now. And we're at 5,000 now, so let's go back to our cruise checklist here in a second. Back to our flight plan. I'll get back. Checklist. Okay, oxygen did not require fuel pump I'm going to leave our fuel pump on. My Gen 6 mixture is set. Engine parameters are, let's give it a little bit more. Monitoring good, fuel flow is good, and now we got our descent checklist and back to the map. Okay, so this is our busy little departure out of Santa Monica, which I can tell you, this is a little bit lighter version. Okay, so, wow. Okay, so that first little bit of activity will get your attention, and learning my IFR in LA and Santa Monica makes it a lot easier everywhere else. I'm going to take a little shot of water here, folks. Okay, so now let's flip our tanks over. I'm sure that, yeah, let's go right tank. Let's make sure that we're on our right tank down there. We are. Here, you see it flipping back here. We're now on our right tank. Okay, let's come back up top here. Woo! Hello, Norma! Okay, what's going on? Okay. 134.9 or 8 Foxtrot Sierra. Okay, let's go up top here. We're going to go on our comms. We're going to go 134.9. That's Savannah. Okay, back here. SoCal approach Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra level 5,000. 2996 for LAX 8 Foxtrot Sierra. Thank you. Okay. Yabba dabba doo. Okay, so let's make sure we're all good here. Okay, that got rid of the old guy. Put him back in there. Okay, I don't know whether you like seeing my mug in there or not. It kind of reminds me I'm in the cockpit here a little bit. Okay, so we have a little cloud cover and so forth. If the weather that's reflecting on X-plane right now is the weather we're having in LA, it's actually about 10 to 8 here in LA, not 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to show you something here about this TorqueSim model, flight sim model here. You'll notice right here, if I come up tight, that we've got the pathways. Now, I know there are a lot of pilots out there that think the pathways is for pansies, or rookies. I'm a rookie, that's for sure. I love the technology, and I love the fact that you have things like pathways that kind of went away right now. The TorqueSim guys who did this model, one of whom I actually met online during one of these flights, did an amazing job of putting this together. So if you're interested in flying a Cirrus flight model for X-plane 11, I can't imagine you could do better than TorqueSim, just my personal opinion there. So, alrighty. I think we're doing okay right now, so let's see where we're at in the flight here.
Departure, Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey. Just want to confirm that I can start my descent after 14.2 DME, St. Marcus.
All right, so I'm going to pull back my power just a little bit here to get it back to about 75% here.
Roger.
All right, so I'm probably going to go. Now I notice that we've got here on our iPad. I'm getting X-plane traffic now, which is awesome. Now you notice I'm not going straight to SLI 28. I'm going to a little waypoint down here called Wilma. I don't know if you can see it. It's just inside the green line there. So I'm cheating a little bit here. Now normally on a flight they'd be vectoring us all over the place, but today we're just gonna we're 6 degrees offline here. So normally we'd be about 160 degree heading, and but we're going to just do what they ask us to do tonight. Let's go to that rear view. You see we're actually in and out of the clouds at 5,000. So this would be a bona fide. Let's go look left. We got nothing. Right, we got nothing. All right, okay, now vintage fashion here in California. Now we're clear. So we're approaching the Long Beach Harbor area here. This is where the Queen Mary is, and the Spruce Goose, and all of that. Okay, so now I'm going to start edging over to Seal Beach now. Correct. Enter. And now we're just going to start turning into that Seal Beach. That's a little flight sim cheat. Martin, I'm going to show you here. Let's see if I got my instrument cam. This little device I have right here is what I'm doing, controlling just about everything, as opposed to my keyboard. And so that's why you see me stumbling around, but these buttons allow me to do everything I can do here without having to mess around. I can put them in different sequences and so forth and so on. So it makes this very easy for me to work with. So that's what I'm actually using right now, but I appreciate your comments. 12818 Foxtrot Sierra. Okay, so let's go back to our PFD close-up. We're going to go back to comms. We're going to put in 128.1. And then we're going to go back over here and give them a shout. SoCal approach Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra level 5000.
768 Foxtrot Sierra, SoCal approach, John Wayne altitude
29905 for John Wayne 8 Foxtrot Sierra, thank you. Okay, so now we've got a little time on our hands, so I'm going to go back and take care of a little business here. As I mentioned earlier, I put all my frequencies and so forth on my little flight info sheet. One of the frequencies I have in here now are my destination frequencies. So I want to put those into the flight plan right now. So I'm going to go back to the comm here. I'm going to go down to 126.9, which is the frequency for ATIS down there in Montgomery Field. So let's do that right now. We're going to flip that over. I'm also going to, while I'm there, I'm going to put in 119.2, which is my tower frequency for Monterey, or Montgomery Field. God, I got golf on my head. Okay, so now those are all set. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down here to my, let's go down here to the comms here, and I'm going to put COM 2 in standby. Okay, so we got our ATIS there for San Diego. We got some clouds, a few clouds at 1200 and 1800 broken. So at 28 right though is the runways that we're going to be coming in on. So that's the important part here for me. Okay, A&R muted, backlist grounders. Okay, Martin, I'm going to take all your comments on board, and I'm going to have them here on the broadcast to listen to myself, and I'm going to fix those on the next one. Right now I'm going to fly this thing and ask you to bear with me on the noise. All right, let me see if I can cut some engine noise here for you guys. I don't know if that helps out. Hopefully that'll help you out a little bit there, folks. All right, so let's just make sure I got everything under control. Let's go back up, when in doubt, go back to the scoreboard here. Okay, so the scoreboard says we're going Seal Beach to Tussey. We got 8.8 miles. We're on that 3 Victor 64 part of this leg. We're at 5,000. We got good speed. Our heading bug is synced. Our fuel, let's see what tanks are we on here. We're okay on fuel. Our engine instruments right now, this is something I do when I'm in the plane, particularly when I'm flying alone. I check these engine instruments every 30 minutes or so. So right now we've got good EGTs, CHTs are good. Everything is in the green and we're looking good. Okay, well, good. Thanks. I'm glad I could help there, Martin, on that one. I think I had some audio coming from my desktop audio bleeding into the speakers here. So that's what that's all about. Okay, pardon me. Like I said, give me a few of these and I'll get this sorted out here. Getting late here in Richmond, Virginia. You can't fly tired. Have a good flight, John. Thanks for joining us here today. And I'm going to try to do some of these in the daytime. I spent most of the day rehearsing, trying to figure out the sound thing, and I got some great help from a gentleman on one of the Discord forum boards last night that helped me sort out a sound issue. So I'm happy to see that it's all working pretty good tonight. Okay. This is really cool here now, having, let's see if I can get this right. I don't know if you can see it here, but you can see now traffic that's being funneled from X-Plane and TorqueSim over into the iPad here, which makes this very realistic, which is just terrific. Once again, whoever it was, there was somebody just starting or thinking about getting their private pilot license. What a great time to do it, man. I'm 65 years old. I wish I'd have started when I was 35. And if I knew 10, 12 years ago I was going to be flying a Cirrus, I might have hung around a little bit longer in the music business and try to make a bit more coin, and I probably would be flying around in a Vision jet today. But I'm happy with my little Cirrus. And my second Cirrus here. While I'm at it, how about that sexy new hangar?
Traffic 10 o'clock, 3 miles westbound, 4,500 VFR type is unknown.
Looking for the traffic, 8 Foxtrot Sierra. All right, see, I think I see the traffic he's talking about up here now, which is great. How do I get rid of that instrument cam? Okay, let's go back to the cockpit PIP. There we go. Let's go up to default. There we go, back again. All right, sorry about that. All right, so what can we do right now? We got to try. I'm always thinking about what's coming next. Okay, so we're coming up around the bend here, on our, as you can see, let's go to the...
8 Foxtrot Sierra, traffic no factor.
Traffic no factor, thank you, 8 Foxtrot Sierra. Thanks for your help last night on helping me hook this up. It's working just great.
Cessna 14 Whiskey, contact Cara Maria Tower, 128.2.
128.2, 14 Whiskey, good night.
Number 8 Foxtrot Sierra, looks like it's running well.
Yeah, thanks for your help. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're making that turn down towards Dana Point. It actually is. And, beautiful flight in the real world here.
Roger, 9 Alpha Kilo.
Challenger 9 Alpha Kilo, turn left heading 190, intercept the 21 right localizer.
190 to intercept the 21 left localizer. 9 Alpha Kilo.
Just to verify, it's a 21 right localizer.
Roger, 21 right localizer for 9 Alpha Kilo.
Here's a good question, M. Cudman. What do you feel has been unrealistic from Pilot Edge so far? They do a great job. What's missing if you fly here in Southern California is the general hysteria. It is nonstop radios. And when I'm flying from Santa Monica down to San Diego, for example, let me get back in there. When I'm flying to San Diego, for example, it's never happened to me where I've flown the Papa 22 approach as it was drawn up. Typically, they're always gearing you around LAX, so they would steer you up the coast down to Palos Verdes and then maybe swing you over. It's not unlike them to change the route and amend the route. I did a video on that recently, and some of the challenges that presents to it, and learned a lot along the way. So that's the main difference. Is it's a little more straight missionary, shall we say. Nothing very exotic. Rodney Friend in Indiana, getting late for me. It's getting late for me, Rodney. I know I'm kind of a lightweight for LA, but I'm going to do this. Go give my dogs a hug and get ready for a little golf tomorrow morning. All righty. So,
understood. You have custom 25 and expect the, I assume, ILS 25 approach. Is that what you were planning?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
Understood. Expect the vector for the final approach course for ILS runway 25 approach.
Now, I'll just say that this, when I look at this little view here and explain, it's awesome. You know, one of the challenges of doing videos in my cockpit in the real plane is that it winds up being a ton of editing work, and I am no video editor, that's for sure. The X-Plane's kind of fun because it gives you a bunch of different views, and even though it's a little shaky here tonight, folks, I apologize for that. I'll get better at this and get a little bit more of a flow. And the X-Plane software allows you to kind of get into a little bit of storytelling mode here. Anyway, okay, so we're heading for Dana here. Now, once I make that turn around,
traffic 1 o'clock, 5 miles, turning northeastbound, 5,000 VFR type is unknown.
Looking for traffic, 8 Foxtrot Sierra. I'm not going to be able to see him up here right now. He said 1 o'clock. I got that traffic on the screen here. It looks like he's a little lower than me now. Does that sound right? 500 feet?
Cirrus 85 Sierra, that's affirmative. Seems to have descended now, going opposite direction, 2 miles, 4,400, and continuing to descend.
Got it. I'm seeing him on the screen, not out the window.
Cirrus 85 Sierra. Should be no factor now passing underneath you on the right-hand side, but I got additional traffic for you, 1 o'clock, 4 miles, northwestbound along the shoreline, descending out of 6,000 VFR type unknown.
Got him on the thing. I'm looking for him as well. 8 Foxtrots here.
Thank you.
Now to that question about what's realistic and what's not, which is nice, what's interesting here today is this traffic element that they put in here. When you're flying down from LA to San Diego, I got news for you. Your traffic targets all over the place. And when I first started my IFR training, and even to this day, it can be hectic. You're always getting instructions, and seems like every instruction is followed by traffic at your 2 o'clock, traffic at your 10 o'clock, and it keeps you on your toes, I'll tell you that. It really, really does. Okay, so as I mentioned, once we get swinging around the corner here on this little section here, let's see, we're going to be making a left turn into Dana here, and you can see it up here on the default monitor here. Let's go.
99 Victor, I'm sorry, did you say you have him on the inside?
Up here you can see that we're just about turning to 124 right now. We're going to be making a big left turn here. And there it is. Making that left turn here. And now we're going to be flying up. So this is where I start to think about programming in my IFR approach here. So let's go do that right now. Okay, so let's go over to our flight plan.
Looking for the airport for 99 Victor.
I'm going to go, we know it's runway 28 right, so I'm going to go hit procedure button here. I'm going to select approach. I'm going to look for the RNAV 28 right GPS with LPV. Let's imagine that we're flying to Bakel. The minimums on my plane would have a little bit more information here in the these keys right here would allow me to load the charts, but I have the charts loaded over here on the iPad, of course. So I'm going to pull up my 28 right which hopefully you can see right here. And the minimums I'm going to go search for are 673. So I'm going to go back. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to go back and put in, yes, Barrow, and then we're going to put 673 here as our minimums. Okay, so now let's call that 680. We're going to enter, and then I'm going to load that puppy. And now you'll see over here that we have our minimums listed, which are good for reference when we're coming down. And it looks like that will be relevant here tonight. So hopefully I can get it right on the approach here. Okay, so now that means that we are all loaded here, loaded up on our program, I should say. I'm not drinking wine here, folks. That's water. Maybe later we'll get. There's Samuel Mendoza. Hey, Sam, how about next week? I talked to my buddy. He'd love to come and join us at Palma Valley. Ah, there's another great little view. Let's get rid of the old man out of there. Whoops, that didn't want that. Let's go cockpit PIP, and let's go. Aha. This is the part I love about X-Plane. You can really feel like you're telling a little story here. Sam, I'll contact you separately on that, and looking forward to it. And in fact, you can bet that I will no doubt be practicing a couple approaches into Palma Valley with my golf clubs in the proverbial back seat. Alrighty, let's go see how we're doing on everything. Our engine instruments are good. Everything's holding steady there. Let's go back up to our score part. We're going Dana to Kelps. We've got 3.7. We're at GPS. We got autopilot. We're at 5,000. Our heading is synced. Our minimums are set. Our approach is loaded. Let's go over here. Let's just go loaded here. Okay, Bakel is our initial approach. Now some of that stuff, again, I'm going to go right on my little information down here. I'll put the approach, which is RNAV 28 right. The runway is going to be 28 right. We're not going to worry about a nav frequency on this one. Our minimums are 673. Our initial approach fix altitude is going to be 4,200 feet, or it's actually 5,000 at Bakel. Our final approach fix, which is the important one here, is going to be Penny at 2,500. The greenskeeper out at our golf course has a dog named Penny, who I was playing with today. Little Penny, that one's in honor of you. Okay, so now all that information is set. Now let's go and pick up a little information again. We're going to do some, let's go back to our information here. Let's go back to that iPad here. The other thing I'm looking for here is our missed approach information, which you can see up here at the top. I don't know if you can see it on the thing, but
26 miles south of Las Vegas VOR. Request Bravo transition northbound.
So our miss is climb 3,000. Was that something for 8 Foxtrot Sierra?
November 768 Foxtrot Sierra, Palomar altimeter 2996.
2996 for Palomar, thank you. Okay, so our climb 3,000.
Call to the Bravo transition, say again.
November 4527 Tango.
Flank
off 25.
Okay, so now I've got.
Request Bravo transition northbound.
I've got our.
Got the 4527 Tango Las Vegas approach.
Okay, so now I've got everything I need. I got our missed approach. I've got our
0301
initial approach fix, final approach fix. I got our approach all set. Now I'm ready to go. So now I just got to be patient and fly this puppy on in here.
Number 52 Echo to climb and maintain 6,000.
Climb maintain 6,000, Bonanza 3452 Echo.
So Cal approach 8 Foxtrot Sierra here. I'd like to get the RNAV 28 right for Montgomery Field if possible.
Number 8 Foxtrot, 8 Foxtrot Sierra contact, so Cal approach 119.6, make it with the request with him.
119.6, 8 Foxtrot Sierra, thanks for your help. Okay, so let's go to comms here. Let's go up close here so you can see what's going on. We're going to put in 119.6.
That's 52 Echo, turn right heading 270.
Right turn 270, maintenance 3452.
So Cal approach Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra level 5000. I'd like the RNAV 28 for RNAV for 28 right at Montgomery Field if possible.
768 Foxtrot Sierra, so Cal approach. Information hotels, current Montgomery advise when you have it, expect that approach.
I'll have to go back and get hotel. I had golf, and so I'll have to go see what's changed. Okay.
So Golf Sierra, I can give it for you. Winds calm, visibility 10, few clouds 1,200, temperature 13, dew point 10, altimeter 290.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No worries. Number 8 Foxtrot Sierra, traffic 11 o'clock, 4 miles northwestbound, altitude indicates 4,500.
Looking for traffic, 8 Foxtrot Sierra.
Brand 52 Echo, turn right heading 290 when able to proceed direct to Wilma, then resume the Anaheim 1 departure.
Right turn 290, Amanda 3452 Echo.
Brand 52 Echo on that heading when able, direct Wilma, then resume the Anaheim 1 departure.
Direct Wilma and then resume Anaheim 1, Amanda 3452 Echo.
Number 27 Tango, radar contact 20 miles south of the Las Vegas VOR. Cleared into the Bravo airspace, maintain VFR at or below 8,000.
Cleared into Bravo, maintain VFR at or below 8,000, but the 27 Tango.
That's 27 Tango. Did you have a destination in mind?
We're flying to 1 Lima 1, 27 Tango.
That's 27 Tango, roger.
Okay, now I did a little cleanup there on the flight plan there to get rid of that MYF. Once I got my approach loaded, all those are MYF. So I take that MYF out of there just to make sure that I go from MZB to Bakel and nothing screwy happens along the way in there. Okay. I'm going to be able to shoot my age at 82, I'll tell you that. Today when I played a little 9-hole, I'll gloat. I was 1 under today out of Bel Air. Made every freaking putt I looked at. For 9 holes, that is. Had I played the back nine, I would have no doubt given back quite a few of those. Played with my son, which is a lot of fun. Okay, so let's take a look out the left window here. You see the beautiful coastline here in Southern California. Never get tired of that. And by the way, if you've ever driven here in Southern California down that 405 freeway, I can tell you the best way.
Contact SoCal departure 127.4, good flight.
127.4, Bonanza 3452 Echo C.
The best way to go down that 405 is in an airplane looking at it.
27 Tango, what altitude are you looking for?
7,500, 27 Tango.
27 Tango, that'll work.
Destination ATIS is
27 Tango, once you enter the Bravo, fly heading 360 and when able proceed direct to the 26 numbers at McCarran and expect our navigation after that.
All right, entering the Bravo 360 to the McCarran was the 26 numbers and ONAV after that, 27 Tango.
That's 27 Tango, that's perfect.
Okay, so I've entered my frequencies in, as you can see up here. I've entered in my ground frequency, so now I got tower is ready to go. I've got Montgomery Field ground is ready to go. So once I hit get around the corner here, all I'll have to do is just go down here to my autopilot comms, and we'll just be able to push the comms button down here, but we'll go back here right now. Okay, now I got a nice email tonight from somebody who had looked at one of my infamous, I guess, videos. My worst 10 minutes as a pilot. Really.
Foxtrot, Sierra, would you like the approach from any particular fix or just the vector to final?
We could go vectors to final. I'm looking for the RNAV 28 right, please.
The 8 Foxtrot, Sierra. Yes, sir. I do have the request for the RNAV 28 right. That's why I was asking where you wanted the approach from. Okay, vector to final, sir.
Vectors to final it is. Thank you so much. 8 Foxtrot here.
No worries.
Okay, so what we're going to, now we know we've got vectors to final. I'm going to go up here. Let's go up here. I'm going to go select, go activate vectors to final here. And hopefully that won't get rid of all these, get rid of all of these, okay, we're going to find out right now. Get rid of all of those, oh shit. Okay, here we go. Let's just stay here. We got to go in heading mode then. Okay, we're going to go heading, and we're going to go boom. Okay, there's heading. We're going to stay in that heading mode. Something about vectors to final that always gets screwy for me. Okay, let's go back up top here. All right, so what I did a little cheat here, because normally when we're doing vectors to final, he'd be giving me a heading thing. So as soon as I hit vectors to final on this G5 setup here, it does something different than on my Gen 6. The Gen 6 keeps all of the waypoints in there, and when you hit vectors to final and you're already in heading mode, it doesn't jump you over like I did there and try to take me to the final approach fix there. So I got that sorted out. I'm just kind of cheating right now. We're in heading mode, and he's going to give us some vectors, and we're already there. So pardon me on that one. That's a little explained fix. All right, folks. Appreciate all the nice comments. Great job checking out. M. Cutman, thanks. You're doing a good job. I appreciate that. Sam Mendoza, my new golfing buddy. I got to say something. The Cirrus community is what a great bunch. I know that all the folks are watching here now. I presume they're not all.
Ren Baron, Foxtrot, Sierra. Verify you're on Victor 23 to Mission Bay.
I'm on Victor 23. Actually, I had to do a little jury rig here. I'm more or less, I could be a little bit further right. But yeah, I'm on Victor 23.
A Foxtrot, Sierra, you're about a mile east of Victor 23 and diverging slightly.
Yeah.
That's right, flight heading 130, vectors final approach course, and descend and maintain 4,000.
I was getting a little off because I was trying to fix them. So 130 and 4,000, 8 Foxtrot Sierra, thank you.
No problem.
130 and 4,000, okay, let's put in our altitude select to 4,000. Let's give it vector 500 feet, and let's start pulling some power here. Let's also switch our tank over to the left. Okay, let's go to our checklist. Altimeter is set.
Right, Foxtrot Sierra, turn left heading 090.
09 or 08, Foxtrot Sierra. Okay, our landing light is now on. Okay, it was on the whole time. Fuel system mixture is good. Oxygen required. Okay, before landing checklist, our seatbelt and shoulder harness is secure. Fuel pump is good. We'll hold off on that mixture for a second here.
Bonanza 27 Tango, altitude pass over the 26 numbers at McCarran. Altitude's your discretion.
Okay, so you can see we're kind of getting
after the numbers.
he's squaring us up for that final approach. You can see right here. Get rid of declutter all this stuff. So again, you can see it over here as well. So we get rid of let's go to cockpit. Okay. If I come up close here, hopefully you can see on the MFD squaring us up now for this approach. We're on 2.8, so 100 degrees would be parallel. So he's swinging us a little bit to the right, and then he's going to kick us back in. We're closing in on 4,000, and I got to pull some power here. Okay, we're going way too fast. We want to be about 120 when we're turning that corner here. So I'm just going to pull the power and let it bleed off here.
Cirrus 8 Foxtrot Sierra, will this be a full stop?
Full stop, please. Yes, 8 Foxtrot here.
Thank you.
Okay, so once we get it down to about 120, I'm going to put some power back in here. Okay, keep us around 100. About 45% should keep us in there. Okay, now we got our power speed under control. Speed's a big part of this, I've learned in flying IFR here. One of the things I consistently screwed up in the early days is I'd get so wound up thinking about the headings and the this and that I would lose track of my speed. And I almost did the same thing right here on the sim, because now I got a whole new I'm flying the plane and flying the sim here, and it can be a little much from time to time. So actually it's a reminder of what my early IFR training was like. It felt like I was juggling a bunch of balls, and somebody was always telling me to do a new trick just when I just got comfortable with the last trick. So anyway, now we've got our speed at 120, which you can see right there. That's where we want to be. That's Cirrus standards. And I don't want to be the most boring guy in the world, but I would definitely like to be the most boring pilot in the world, and that means taking care of business. So now we're going to be going through some clouds here. We're at 4,000 right now. When we turn that corner, let's go to our flight plan for a second. Nesty, we need to be at 3,600. That's actually up here on our screen right now. That's our next altitude. You see it over here at 3,600. So we're within striking range of that, so that's all good. But I don't want to be going too much faster. I can get flaps in when I make that turn as well as slow us down a bit. So let's get back out of here and take a look at the, no, I don't want to do that. Enter. Okay, so there we are again. Let's pull back a little bit. So our final approach fix is Penny, which is this one right here. So he's going to probably put us between Penny and Nesty. Okay, this is the point of the flight that I'm always asking myself, what do I need to do? What am I missing? What's going on here? Okay, let's look left. We got clouds. Right, we got clouds. Rear view, we got clouds. Okay, so we're in it right now. This is when you got to trust your instruments, and this is where, you know, if you're flying a Cirrus, I can't imagine that there'd be a better plane to do that with.
8 Foxtrot Sierra, turn 10 degrees right.
10 right, that's 108 Foxtrot Sierra.
Your map is impeccable.
As long as you move me in 10s, I'm good.
Now let's approach Bonanza 4527 Tango, level 7,500.
Then 457 Tango, Nellis approach. Nellis, altimeter 2990.
90.
So 27 Tango, so far you run your own navigation now, is that correct?
Thank you, Martin.
I can be on ONAV, 27 Tango.
27 Tango, thanks, resume our navigation.
Zoom on nav, 27 Tango.
There's a lot of common ground between golf and flying. Middle of the fairway, middle of the runway, good approaches, stable approaches. No mulligans in the plane. Okay, our speed is good at 120. That's all good. Let's come up close and see. Our speed's good at 120. We're heading, we're at 4,000. We're looking for 3,600. It's going to be our next one. I think we're looking good right now. let's look left. We got some, okay, now this is very California, under the clouds, a little thin layer, off to the right, little thin layer. Okay, so we're looking good. This is very realistic for today. So he's got us, he's going to probably start swinging us right here. So when he does, I'm going to put some flaps in there. Our tank is on the left tank, we're good. Left tank is good. We're all set down there. Let's come back up top here. Okay, it's good speed. We're looking, I'm constantly monitoring these various screens here. I'm in the MFD. I'm looking, we're squared up here now, so I figure he's going to start swinging me in here in a second. My flight plan is going to put us between Penny and Nesties.
Number 8 Foxtrot Sierra, turn right, heading 190.
190, 8 Foxtrot Sierra. Okay, so it looks like he's going to send us over toward Nesty. Do I have Nesty listed here in case we go direct? Yes, I do, but I'm going to load it just in case. Okay, back to the map here. Okay, we're in the clouds. We're left, we're in the clouds. Right, we're in the clouds. Okay, this is real instrument flying here now, folks. This is where you just got to trust these instruments and know them. And again, I'm a big fan of
November 8 Foxtrot Sierra, 2.5 from Nesty, fly heading 250. Maintain 3,500 until established on the final approach course. Clear to RNAV from 828 run approach.
250, maintain 3,500 to establish, clear for the RNAV approach, 8 Foxtrots here. Okay, we went 3,500. Let's get started down here. Altitude 3,500. And then we were cleared for the approach, so we're going to hit that approach button down here. And bang, there we go. Okay, we're looking good. And we're going to pull that power, and we're going to start hitting our flaps here. Let's get that power down just a little bit. And let's get that power back so we can get our flaps in there. Okay, we're on the glide slope. We're on the approach course now. Trying to get those. Okay, and then we went Penny for 2,500, and let's get our flaps in there. Might get a slight overspeed here. Okay, let's get some power back there. Not exactly like the Cirrus, to be honest with you, folks. 40's good. And somewhere in here we should be picking up the glide path, and we got it right now, so we are good to go. Let's sync up our heading here. Let's put our mixture full here. Got our flaps in. Let's get our speed back in here. Should be about 30% now. It should get us done. Okay, we're 2.5 miles. Okay, now we're good. There's 100. We want to keep it around 100. We got the glide path. It's connected. We're all good now. Now we're just flying this plane. We got our comms are set here. Down here, we're all set with our comms. Okay, let's look out that front, the rear view here. We've got some. Okay, this is classic LA right here. Classic Southern California, I should say. All right, got got good speed.
Sierra, contact Montgomery Tower at Penny, 119.2 Sierra.
Montgomery at Penny, 8 Foxtrot Sierra. Thanks for all your help. Okay, wait, we get to Penny. We're going to be at 2,500 at Penny. We're past it, so now let's set our mixed approach altitude of 3,000. Let's get that speed back to where we need to be. We're at 100. We're 1.1 mile from Penny, then we're going to contact Montgomery. Stay with him till then. Okay, now I'm going to switch my plates over on the iPad to the runway. I'll just show you that real quick. I'm going to set it to the runway here because I want to make sure I got some tracking once I get down there. Okay, back up here. We're at Penny here now.
Airfield, make left downwind, runway 29er, clear land.
We'll circle south of the field, left downwind 29er and clear land, Charlie Golf Mike Whiskey Tango.
Montgomery Tower, Cirrus 768 Foxtrot Sierra inbound with hotel for RNF 28 right.
Number 768 Foxtrot Sierra, Montgomery Tower, wind calm, runway 28 right, clear land.
28 right, clear land, 8 Foxtrot Sierra, thank you. Okay.
San Bernardino Tower, 735, down in the Vic.
Hopefully soon.
Well, hopefully we get a chance to meet.
Absolutely, I'd love that.
Be safe out there, boy.
You too, man. Take care.
Okay, let's see what the heck we're doing over here. All right, we're going to come in
Now
here.
watch your stuck, Mike, there.
Montgomery Tower, Twin Cessna, Sierra, Mia Foxtrot, holding short 28 right at Alpha, ready to go.
2 runway Foxtrot, Montgomery Tower, proceed on course, runway 28 right, cleared for takeoff.
Proceed on course, quick takeoff, Sierra, right, Sierra, Mia Foxtrot.
Number 162 Kilo Delta, taxi to parking via Juliet, remain this frequency, pass for the Cat 2.
City parking and copy Cat 2, thanks.
575 November Delta, connect SoCal departure.
Over to departure, 575 November Delta.
All righty, we made it. Okay, I'm going to pull the power all the way up, mixture off, fuel pump off.
San Luis Tower, November 9990 Bravo, midfield for one runway.
Hit our brakes.
Number 990 Bravo, number 2, runway 29er, clear for the option.
Clear for the option, 990 Bravo.
Okay, just like the real deal. Feel tired. All right, folks, I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. And that was a lot of fun. And I look forward to doing another one of these, or actually a whole bunch. This is kind of fun. We're kind of on a little bit of a hiatus here in California for a month or so, or hopefully that's all it'll be. Anyway, you folks, thanks again for watching. Stay safe out there. And I'm going to end the show tonight and hit the hay. So let me get back over here. It's been a pleasure having you guys here tonight. And until I see you again, and have fun out there. Be safe.